All right, welcome. This is hopefully going to walk you through how to create a set of blocks that you can use to represent equivalent fractions. And as you can see here, I've got 4 different groups, all of which are equivalent in one way or another. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to tinkercad.com, and I'm already signed in. If you're not signed in yet, you'll want to create a free account. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a box on here. I'm sure there are other ways of doing this, but for me, I found this to be fairly simple. Now, the blocks that I'm going to use are going to be very small because I want them to print quickly, and I don't need them to be huge to have a good model of representation. So I'm going to actually click and drag this down to a 5 by 5. I'm going to check to make sure that this is 20 by 20. Everything I do, I want to make sure that it is 400 square millimeters, or a 20 by 20. Next thing I can do is copy. I'm going to click away from it and paste. What that does is it just puts it right in the middle for me. And I'm going to bring this over here. And this one now, let me back out so that I can see the dimensions. This one now, I'll make it a 10 by 20. Notice here I just click copy and paste, it put it right on top of it. Not a big deal, I can move it over, but if I click copy and then paste, it puts it right in the middle for me. And I can click and drag it over. And here's one of the issues that you might have in grabbing this. Let's say you grab it and it ends up messing up. Like, so now I've got this and it's a really big, awkward block. If I undo, on a Mac it's Command Z, on a PC it is Control Z, I can undo it and then bring it back to where it was supposed to be. Okay, and it doesn't really matter all that much where I place these because I'll end up dropping them onto a print bed. Just to make sure, this is 5 by 20. 5 times 4 of these is 20. So I've got one more 20 by 20 grouping. And then the last one is going to be my small cubes. That's what they're going to become. To continue creating these, not worrying too much about lining them up. Like I said, they'll all come together here. So now I'm going to grab this group, copy, paste, and I can drag them all over here. There we go, copy and paste. And last one, copy and paste. And I'll move them all. Oh, I don't like that one. Oh. Oops. Let me take and move these. And let's see what that does. Oh. How's that? There we go. So I was just printing, or is copying it right over top. So now what I can do is I can check. I've got 5 sets of 4 here, so that's 20. 5 sets of 5, so that's 25. So I actually have one too many. Didn't need to mess with this at all. And I've got everything I need. So that's the most basic one that you can do that I can think of, and I'm more than certain that there are others. But you can decide to get crazy if you want and be able to drop in triangles. The main goal here is getting students to understand equivalence and equivalent fractions. So the benefit here of having these blocks is that they're very tangible for a student to be able to mess with. And as they get older, it's even more important for when they start talking about area models and messing with algebra tiles and manipulatives that way. When you're talking about x squared versus x in a single unit, it makes a whole lot more sense. So being able to mess with that, being able to have students wrap their heads around it, certainly helps. Once the students are finished, they will click on download. And for me, the Airwolf 3D printer that I use, I need an STL file. You'd want to check with whatever program you have that would make it work for you and your needs. But you can also drop it out as an OBJ file or an SVG file, depending on what you wanted to do with it. I would end up dropping it in as STL file, putting it into my MatterSlice or MatterControl or Slicer or any 3D printing software and be rocking. Hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know.